Today, we're going to talk about some taboos and misconceptions people have related to traveling. The first taboo people like to believe is how it's not safe to travel abroad. That is not true. I agree that some recent world events have sparked concern about international travel. However, the chances of an incident occurring at your destination and during your travels are incredibly small. Another taboo people like to believe is how jet lag is caused by the lack of sleep. Basically, anything but the lack of sleep is responsible for jet lag. Of course, jet lag affects everyone differently, but crossing time zones is the most prominent cause in disrupting your body's eternal clock. The other taboo people believe is how group travels are not authentic. Well, if you pick the right provider, the exact opposite is often true. Many small group tour companies offer unique experience, practice sustainability, and actually give back to the community. One of the taboos that annoys me the most is how people say traveling is too expensive. Sure, flights and hotel rooms can be costly, but there are alternatives if you really want to make your travel work. Why don't you try a budget airline for shorter distances and consider shared accommodation platforms for overnight stays? A lot of people even say that you can get by with just English. It is true that many countries are very English language friendly, but never underestimate potential language barriers. You'll gain more respect from the locals if you can hold a basic conversation, ask for directions, and order off a menu in their native language. Then comes the taboo of people saying how shared accommodation platforms are dangerous. The news does tend to put a spotlight on some of the most horror Airbnb stories, but in reality, these cases happen very rarely. And then there comes the taboo that traveling alone is not safe. I agree, extra precautions need to be made when traveling solo, but the experience is usually only the best. If you're nervous about completely going solo, sign up for a group trip. It's a great way to meet different people. There's also a taboo going around that people say traveling is not worth it because they do not get enough time. If you haven't used all your vacation days yet this year, or at least plan to, then you are guilty of believing this myth. Most people are given vacation time, so use it. Yes, the preparation is sometimes tedious and time consuming, but once you step off the plane, check into a hotel and see that amazing sight, everything becomes worth it. Another taboo is how you don't need travel insurance. Well, you don't until you do. I've heard too many horror stories of accidents, injuries, and cancellations to not invest in travel insurance. Lastly, the taboo people say that you can't make money while traveling. That is so not true. If you're worried about cash and want to travel for a long period of time, there are dozens of ways to make money while traveling.